Good morning, Fellowship Hi-Crest. It's so good to be with you as we do another Jumpstart devotion. Today we will be in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verses 7 through 13. Go ahead and join me there. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, "This is not the one the Lord has chosen." Next, Jesse summoned Shimea, and Samuel said, "Neither is this the one the Lord has chosen." In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any of these." And then Samuel asked, "Are these all of the sons you have?" "There is still the youngest," Jesse replied, "but he's out in the fields watching the sheep and goats." "Send for him at once," Samuel said. "We will not sit down to eat until he arrives." So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, "This is the one, anoint him." So as David stood there among his brothers, Samuel took the flask of olive oil he had brought and anointed David with the oil. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day on. Then Samuel returned to Ramah. All right. So this is the story of how David is chosen and anointed to be the next king of Israel after Saul. Now, it would be several years after this day before he actually becomes king and takes over that role. But this is the day that he's chosen. And I love it. It says, "The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them, Samuel. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." David wouldn't have been anyone's first choice to be king. It certainly wasn't his brothers. It wasn't his father's. It wasn't even Samuel's first choice. But he was God's choice because God can see the heart. Similarly, when many years later, thousands of years later, when Jesus would come to be the expected Messiah, the one and true king, he wasn't what anyone expected. He was one that's sent to save, but he wasn't what the people expected him to be. And so our expectations often don't match up to God's plans for our lives. In this season of Advent and expectation, moving towards Christmas, what are you expecting? What are you waiting for God to deliver on? Are you holding these expectations with an open hand or a closed hand? Are you willing to let God shape them into His plans, or are you holding tight to what you expect God to do for you? Just challenge you to be open-minded, to be open-handed, and to ask God to shape your heart into what He has for you. Thanks for joining us today. Continue to power up, pour in, and spill out.